cold today, and it got me thinking, what kinds of activities can we do on a cold, icy, snowy day like today? And so today begins a series of activities, whether they're indoors or maybe outdoors like skiing, that we can do when the weather is not cooperating. My name is Cynthia and I am with Cinderella Cells and the Living in Eastern PA channel, where we explore everything there is to know about living, working, playing, and relocating to the Lehigh Valley of Eastern Pennsylvania. So whether your move is in 9 days, in 9 weeks, or even 9 months, I look forward to being your guide. Today begins our series on indoor activities, and we start at the Allentown Art Museum. The art begins right when you walk in the door of the museum. In the foyer hangs this wallpaper by the Chinese artist Ai Weiwei. I probably said that all wrong, and I do apologize. Inside, we're greeted by friendly staff, and just as you're reaching for your wallet, getting ready to pay, you see this sign. It's free to get into the Allentown Art Museum. So outside, I parked for free. Inside, I walk in. You all know I have to hit the gift shop, and I do this while I'm waiting for my guide. Now, a normal visit to the museum would not involve a walkthrough with commentary, but Kress, the marketing and PR pro at the museum, was generous with his time and with his knowledge. Even without Kress, there are many docents around to answer questions or help guide you through the building. So we're on the first floor, and it hosts the Fuller Gallery. This is a space that is ever-changing, hosting rotating exhibitions that bring contemporary themes to life. 1 month you might find bold, modern abstract pieces, and another, a thought-provoking showcase of social commentary through sculpture and mixed media. Then there's the Goodman Gallery. You'll discover a fusion of traditional and experimental art here. Artists from around the world are featured, creating a dynamic blend of old and new. And then there is the Butz Gallery. This room is a celebration of texture and form, where sculpture, photography, and paintings come together to tell stories in ways words simply cannot. The first floor is all their permanent collection. 3 times a year, they're rotated for interest, but also for preservation, because some pieces can't be on display for longer than 3 or 4 months. For those of us like me, because I'm a realtor, who are interested in art, architecture, and homes, there is a fascinating display of a room that Frank Lloyd Wright designed. This actual room was part of a home that he was commissioned to build in Minnesota back at the turn of the century. When the family who commissioned it was getting older, they chose to sell it to various art museums where it was reconstructed and put on display. I understand that the living room and the dining room are at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, and Allentown got the library. You can come into this room, you can sit here in the furniture, and you can experience the unique environment that Wright created with the low ceilings, very typical, and stained or leaded glass that he was known for. It has been here at the Allentown Art Museum since 1972, after being in its Minnesota location for more than 60 years. Frank Lloyd Wright was influenced by Japanese prints, so this little exhibit pays homage to that connection. These are works collected over the years. Allentown is a collecting museum as opposed to a university gallery that hosts shows but doesn't have their own collections. Now, this is a key work from Franz Kline. He's an abstract impressionist like Jackson Pollock or Motherwell, and was born in Wilkes-Barre in northern Pennsylvania. His dad worked for the railroad, and as a teen, they moved to Lehighton, just west of the Lehigh Valley. He grew up and left, of course, as many of us do, we leave home. But he returned to Lehighton to visit his mother regularly. What a good son. He painted this town at the request of patrons of the VFW, where he would go for a drink while in town. He created this one on one long piece of canvas, and he included in this painting the railroad and what many believe is his father and himself, right there, those two figures. Down here is his childhood home. The airport is still here, and the bandshell, and many of these buildings on First Street are still standing. If not for the older model 1940s cars depicted, this could be a modern work of art painted very recently. Now we're on the second floor, which generally has the special exhibitions, which are rotated 3 times a year. Let's walk around the corner here and look at this beauty. She is a Rembrandt. She came in 1959 with the Crest Collection, which I'll talk about in a minute. And it has been authenticated by Rembrandt scholars during a cleaning. After the cleaning, she is so bright. Look at the color of her skin. It's amazing. And the detail on the lace is so evident. She is believed to be one of his favorite models, or possibly his sister. Of course, we will never know. The Crest Collection is why the Allentown Art Museum moved to its current location on 5th Street. They needed a permanent place for this extensive collection of Italian, German, Dutch, and other old masters, some of which go back to the 1300s. Prior to this, the art museum was really more of a meetup for local artists. The Crest Collection is named after Samuel H. Kress, an entrepreneur, successful business owner, and later in life, a philanthropist. Kress grew up in Cherryville, not far from Allentown, and built a widely successful chain of department stores throughout the U.S. Even the structures of the stores were known for their distinctive Art Deco architecture and are now recognized as architectural landmarks. They have been considered works of public art, with many locations listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Yeah, so this is this is to kind of show, so those ruffs on the neck,
yes,
were in fashion back then amongst the royalty, the nobility.
Yes.
We had a contemporary artist kind of react to that, and so this is what we ended up with. This and the video here are supposed to work together to kind of evoke a more modern take on that neck.
And I suppose there are
You
some
see it a little bit?
who probably felt like this is actually what it feels
Well,
like.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're right. It was
This
all
is what
stiff.
it feels
and it was
like.
starch.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. It was cutting and itching and.
And I guess this is actually the it's a rendering of the hot, I don't know what you would call it, not an iron, but the tool that you would heat to create those stiff pockets in the rough.
Oh.
That's an actual, I guess the artist located one and either bought it or had it there and used it as a shape, as an interesting shape that he kind of riffed on, and then kind of went abstract with
No
it.
thanks. No, thank you.
When I first got here, it's like, I'm not so into the old stuff. But then you realize, like, 1385, this was created that long ago, and you can like be this close to it. Kind of amazing, just
It is
from a
amazing.
historian, and you know how many
Yeah.
times. So it came from Italy, I believe this one did. Angel Suarez Rosado, he's originally from New York, but he now lives in Easton. Very popular on the weekends.
I don't mind if you're in my video.
Sorry.
No, I really don't mind if you don't. I don't put any children in videos
Oh,
without
okay.
their parents'
Of course,
permission.
of course.
Oh, this is beautiful.
So yeah, like I said, on the weekends, it gets packed. We open up that wall because we have the Crayola Learning Center over here, which is where a lot of the hands-on art making takes place. Then this is kind of a lounge area. There's kids usually drawing or doing collages. We have maker stations over here on this wall.
What a great idea.
I ended my tour right here, poring over these old photographs. It was really the perfect ending to my great day at the Allentown Art Museum. What a treat to park for free, have entrance to the museum for free, and then meander the halls and exhibit of this gem of an institution. When you're in the area, whether the weather is cold or not, you should add this to your to-do list. You will not be disappointed. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for all things Eastern PA and the Lehigh Valley.